Now, I'm going to talk about some of you married guys. You out here beating on your wife. Now, maybe the first time you hit her, she went to your family. They came and jumped all over you, your mother and your sister. So the first thing you probably do is go tell your wife, whatever happens in our house stays in our house. So when you occasionally beat on her, she never told another soul. So now you think that you are in control. And one day, none of you gentlemen ever pay attention to how many women out here work in these hospitals. Your wife called up one of her girlfriends one day and she said, "Hey girl, how many of them cancer patients are they operating on today?" She said, "Oh, maybe about 30 or 40. She said, "Okay, do me a favor. Bring me some of that cancer out of them patients. My husband has beaten on me again and I am going to put some of that cancer in his food. You come home, there's a note on the table saying, 'Hey baby, there's some potato salad in the fridge. There's some gumbo on the stove. Love, your wife.'" Now, I met a woman. She told me that antifreeze is very sweet. Now, how does she know that and she never swallowed a drop? I guarantee you that half the men, what I just said, probably went right over their head. How she know it's sweet? Because she's giving it to you to drink. One day you just walking around, minding your business, and you just flat out fall out. You wake up in the hospital, the doctor standing over you. He's saying, "Hey, you just had a stroke. And we ran some tests on you. Now, did you know you got a hole in your liver? Your kidneys are failing. Your nervous system is completely shot. What made your muscles totally collapse. You are paralyzed over 96% of your body. The only thing you can do is think, hear, see, and breathe. You can't even talk. And by the way, the doctor also informs you, you also got cancer. Now, it seems like the only time a man takes time to actually think is when he's locked up in the penitentiary for a long time or he's immobile and flat on his back. Now, here you are, immobile, flat on your back. And now you're thinking, what did I do to deserve this? Well, the thought comes to your mind, I was beating on my wife. Now you're really thinking, well, that potato salad was a little different. That gumbo really had some strange meat in it. When I was drinking that Klein flavored Kool-Aid, it did have kind of a tang to it. And by the way, the makers of that Kool-Aid said that line flavor is really jumping off the shelf. And when you have that Incredible Hulk at the club, that Incredible Hulk isn't quite the same that your wife fixed you. What goes into that Incredible Hulk?
It takes Hypnotics and Hennessy to turn it green.
And what makes it different from your wife giving it is that she adds a little Prestone just for you. So now, you didn't figure it out. Your wife just poisoned you. But there's no way you could tell anybody what you think is going on because you're paralyzed. You can't even talk. Now you look up, there's your mother and your sister standing over you. And guess who comes walking in? It's your wife. And they hugging her. They're like, "Oh, you are such a good woman. You really love him."
Yes.
All of a sudden, he looks up and see you. And he's like this. And he gets the grunting. And your mother's like, "Oh, look at him. Rubbing your head. He is just so glad to see his wife." And he looking at you like, well, we're going to let you lovebirds go. Your loving wife is here. And he's really grunting now. Like, blood pressure went through the roof. Now all of a sudden, it's just you and your wife. And you looking at her like, because you know the end is near. She slowly bends down and whispers in your ear, who is in control now? Now I have talked to people, both black, white, male, female. They're in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And every last one of them said they don't even know each other. They all said, if you know what you're doing with that arsenic, you can kill somebody and it would never show up in an autopsy. Take one good guess what your wife has for you. If you said arsenic, you guessed right. She's got a little bit to put in your IV every day. And a little bit of arsenic a day will take you away from here. After about 2 weeks of doing that, she's going to get the phone call she's been looking for. Hurry up, come quick to the hospital. Your husband has just taken a turn for the worse. Now you're dead. She's crying harder at your funeral. But she's laughing even harder going to the bank when she cashed in that life insurance policy. Now you just lost your life because you was dumb enough to beat on your wife and then turn around and eat the food that she cooked for you.
That's right.
I asked some of these guys, I say, man, don't you think she might have poisoned him? These brothers out here, some of them so done, they thought, nah, man, he died from natural causes. I said, yeah, naturally caused by her feeding you cancer, giving you antifreeze to drink. Yes, I think that would cause you to die naturally. Now, I'm going to talk about how you guys will get straight up murdered from beating on that woman. A lot of you gentlemen, you got to understand. Women have families. Some of them have fathers, brothers, nephews, uncles on their mother's side, uncles on their father's side, cousins on their mother's side, cousins on their father's side. You liable to wake up one day and there's 10 dudes standing around you. And guys, you better realize a whole lot of men are found dead in their own home with no forced entry. Now, what you gonna do when you got 10 guys standing over you and they got pistols too? They just might light you up right there. Now, I know quite a few guys been in and out the penitentiary, including members of my family. And some of them learned the art of tattooing. So what they might do is tattoo a gang logo on you. When the police come in, first thing they gonna say, that was gang related. Your family gonna be like, well, he wasn't a part of the gang. They say, well, the tattoos look pretty fresh. So he just joined. They just wrote it off as gang related and that didn't have anything to do with it. You're dead because you was beating on that woman. Or they'll drag you out of bed, put a pair of pants on you, sit you in front of the TV, you in the couch. They get some heroin, shove it up your nose. Look like you're snorting it. Then they get a needle, put it in your arm, and they keep giving it to you until they kill you. When the police find you, then you're going to be all like foaming at the mouth. You're all laid out. So the first thing they going to think is that you OD'd. You try to tell her family, they're like, hey, he didn't do no drugs. They're like, well, you can see there wasn't really that much in his system. But what happened here is that he was snorting it, but it wasn't enough for him. So he got the needle, and since he's inexperienced, he gave himself too much. They just wrote that off as drug-related. But it didn't have nothing to do with it. You are dead because you was beating on that woman. And I tell a lot of guys, if you live with a woman a certain amount of time, she could probably sign your name better than you can. If every suicide was thoroughly investigated, half your suicides were homicides that have been made to look like it was a suicide. They drag you out the bed. They say, oh, he hung himself. He wrote a note. Well, he had help. Her family did it and she wrote the note for him. Handwriting analysis be like, hey, perfect match. Or you got some guys, okay, you got some power on the streets. Won't nobody believe you killed yourself, and it's true. But they go down there and hang you anyway. But now we're going to talk about how smart a woman really is. See, while her family's hanging you, what you don't know is that she went out and bought all this gay paraphernalia. So when the police find you, you're going to be hung, but you're going to have on your leather mask, your spiked dog collar, you're going to be bounded by pink furry handcuffs, the whip will be on the floor, and she's going to dress you in her bra and panties. She's going to have the DVD going, so the police going to be like, well, what was he watching? Well, it was them two gay dudes, and they dressed the same way they found you, with their leather mask on and a dog collar. Oh, and by the way, them old gay dudes on there, well, they're really going at it. So now they done came to the conclusion that you were having that rough, gay, slave master sex with your male lover, and something went wrong. So now the first thing police are going to say, well, where's his cell phone? Who did he contact last? So, to show you how smart that woman is, she went to the dollar store, bought one of those mini phones, gave it to her brother, said, now look, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go around the corner, call his phone, and act like you are his male lover. I'm going to text you back to let you know that I got that. So when the police hear, and the message is going to coincide with the approximate time of his death, when they hear, has that woman left yet? I'm around the corner. I'm waiting on an escapade rendezvous. And then they going to read you text back, come on, she's gone. They are convinced now, and to show you how smart that woman is, she just sent the police out on a wild goose chase looking for your male lover that don't even exist. And you better believe she done put it out there. Now, you got your boys, your friends, you think they're going to go, man, we just know, can't believe he went out like that. They ain't going to say that. They're going to be like, hey, you hear about the way they found Joe? All hung up with his leather face on, dog collar, got on his gal bra and thongs, and this is when me and start lying. You know, he going to say, well, I ain't want to say nothing, man, but I knew something was wrong with him. And another guy don't want to be outdone. Yeah, man, I'm thinking the same way you are. But see, I just didn't want to say nothing. But you always got one guy that got to know more than everything. He tells even a bigger lie. He's going, look, man, I overheard him talking. All that gay stuff, talking about how he like to intertwine and get into his inner self because he wears gals, bra, and thongs. Matter of fact, we tell everybody, we kicked him out the crew. And on top of that, we're not even going to his funeral. And your legacy is going to be that you're going to go down as a cross-dressing sissy that tried to be hard. And the day they lay you in that grave, all your friends will be at your house trying to get with your woman. And you dead because you had no better sense than to beat on that woman and then go to bed.
That's right.
Now, I will tell every man,
That's right.
take it from a true player. Women are the biggest players. The most intelligent man will never be as smart as the dumbest woman. Never underestimate the power of a woman. A woman has the power that she can make a man turn away or walk away or turn on any organization or club that he's a member of. A woman has the power to walk up to a policeman that's been on the force 20 years and cause him to break the law. A woman has the power to walk into a church. Here's a preacher that's been in the pulpit over 30 years and she can make him lose his religion. A woman to a man can be your saving grace. But if you ain't got no better sense than to beat on her, we all seen Nightmare on Elm Street. Freddy Krueger will be a walk in the park compared to the nightmare that woman can provide for you. Now, to show you how a woman can be your saving grace, some of you guys out there have enemies within your own inner circle and don't even know it. Now, a woman can't tell you who your friends are, but she can definitely tell you who ain't your friend. And now, if you ain't got no better sense than to beat on her, this woman would take what you think is your friend, turn him into her lover. Next thing you know, your friend has just became your enemy. And I tell every guy out here, when it comes to a woman or some money, you don't really have too many friends. And now, she might have turned herself into a package deal, where not only she done turned him into her lover, she's going into your bank account or your shoebox and giving him your money. Now, she comes as a package deal like that, you really got to go. Now, she didn't came as a package deal. She is his lover, and she is giving him your money. Now, when he blow you away at your funeral, you need to hire Channel 2 News. Get Elliot Davis to do your eulogy. Because after all, by her giving him your money, you paid for it. All right, fellas, I'm going to say this one more time. Take it from a true player. Women are the biggest players. The reason why the most intelligent man will never be as smart as the dumbest woman. And always remember, never underestimate the power of the P. And one other thing, a message to all you stalkers. Do you know how many guys have got shot up, sent in front of their girlfriend's car? Or, hey, he's coming over again? Let him on in. You gonna walk right into an ambush, and they ain't gonna care who you are, wrap you up, drop you off in East St. Louis, and don't have to worry about you no more. And only thing I'm gonna say is peace. I'm out. But peace or rest in peace, if you ain't got no better business than to stalk that woman and beat on her, your choice, gentlemen. I'm out.